afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. For the first time in more than 30 years, the Northeast Organic Farming Association of Vermont has a new executive director. NOFA Vermont was founded in 1971, which makes it one of the oldest organic farming associations in the country. The organization promotes practices to build a Vermont agriculture system that is ecologically sound, socially just, and economically viable. The new executive director to carry out that mission is Grace Oedel. Grace comes to NOFA with an interesting background that includes work on organic food and farming, from our organic food and farming. Let's slip that in. But yes, you have a background that takes us definitely into those places. I can see why they hired you. It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So first, for those that might not know, or people that are sort of familiar, NOFA Vermont, the Northeast Organic Farming Association. Just tell us, what is it?
Yeah, we're a member organization, so we've been around since the early 70s, and NOFA is part of a coalition of NOFAs in other states. So the Vermont chapter is a strong chapter that leads the conversation nationally about what best organic practices are, where the conversation around what does a just, equitable, and organic food system look like. How can we compensate farmers fairly? All these questions come up, but it's an organization that does a number of different programs to achieve that goal. So we have VOF, which is Vermont Organic Farmers, is the LLC, the side of our business that certifies organic farms.
Right.
And that's, a regulatory agency through USDA. And that's the seal that you'll see if you're in the grocery store, you'll see VOF, and that means that it's up to VOF standards for being an organic farm that supports an ecologically sound world.
So VOF.
Vermont Organic Farmers.
Okay.
Thanks. So then NOFA Vermont is the sort of mama organization. It's the nonprofit side that does a variety of things to achieve this goal of supporting farmers and consumers, building markets, and increasing food accessibility. So a wide suite of programs in service to this goal of a just food system that is really about a future for agriculture. So what do best practices look like now? How can we farm in a way that supports farmers, that is healthy for consumers, that is healthy for the planet? So we have a bunch of teams who work on a variety of projects in service to that goal. We have a farmer services team.
Sure.
We have a team about food accessibility, building programming where low-income Vermonters can get access to local and organic produce. We have a team building markets for farmers. We have, a wide set of educational programs.
Right. So team building markets, that's helping to create new markets?
That's right. So helping to develop, like our market development team works on questions like how can we get more local organic produce into the school system? How can we ease the buying relationship with hospitals, with large institutions that have a big market share that can help really open up new markets for local organic farms?
Right.
And build out sort of a local food system that's more resilient than just relying on large distributors who come from
away.
From away. Exactly.
So what is a typical workday like for you as executive director of NOFA Vermont, or is there a typical day?
So far, it's been extremely varied. I've been on the job for 2 months, and I have done a wide array of things, from getting to know our wonderful team. So NOFA Vermont has about 20 full-time staff, and then we have maybe 20 more folks who work on a part-time or consultant basis. So getting to know the people in-house is part of my work.
And also here we have you out of house.
Yes. I've also been spending a lot of time getting to know our member farmers, hearing what issues are pressing on them, what do they need our support with, where is the organic conversation going. I spend a good bit of time doing advocacy work, talking with legislators about how they can support Vermont organic farmers and help build a food system for the future. Yesterday I was at a meeting, a dairy and water collaborative meeting, bringing together conventional and organic dairy farms, environmental groups, service providers to imagine together what are goals that we can all share to build a really healthy food system, develop a clean water program, and support our dairy farmers as this economic backbone of our state.
Right.
So bringing together people and bringing together stakeholders is one of NOFA Vermont's goal, to say, how can we all get in the same room and figure out what's a healthy food system for the future?
Great. And so you work with conventional farmers as well?
We do. So Vermont Organic Farmers certifies organic farms.
Right.
We provide, on the nonprofit side, we will work with conventional farms to help develop, to bring in more practices that support an ecologically thriving, soil and water. And we see farmers all as allies, and we want to bring people in and build coalition together. And if we work with a conventional farm for a number of years on a farm viability plan, we can also use that as an opportunity to bring forward some of the strategies and practices coming out of the organic movement, to say, have you tried IPM, integrated pest management? It reduces your chemical load on your farm, but it also helps support your economic viability because you're not spending so much on inputs for your farm or pesticides. Right. So it can be a win-win, and we NOFA Vermont has come from a relationship first place, build the relationship and then move the conversation forward.
Fantastic. Now, where have you worked before? Clearly you know a lot about organics and farming. Where have you worked before, and what has brought, what was the journey that brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, it's not been an entirely linear one. I've been interested in this intersection of how can we build community to make change. I'm particularly in love with the work of farming and food, but I've always been interested in how do people come together and build coalitions to make meaningful change. So that has led me through a variety of work opportunities, primarily around organic farming. I see food as this place where our concerns about the environment and our concerns about people and our concerns about equitability all really come together. Who has access to food? How are we compensating the people who are growing our food? How does that nourish the earth? All of those, and how do we have fun? How do we come together and eat? All of those things come up around food. So I grew up in the city of Atlanta. I didn't have a farming background. My mom's still there. But when I went to college in Connecticut, I had a financial aid package that required me to have a student work job. And I got a job making pizzas at the Yale Sustainable Food Project, which was a really cool, it started as a student-led organization and grew into a whole major at the school. And then from there, I became a farm manager on a small working farm and loved that. And when I graduated, I wanted to do more work around organic farming and education, and I managed an organic farm in Northern California that was also a high school. Kids came from all over the country to live with us, work the farm, and learn about the connections, these connections we're talking about of sort of food and justice and place. So I was there several years, and then I came back east after I got married. We wanted to be closer to our family, and I worked for MOFGA, which was a similar organization to NOFA. It's the Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association, where I was on their education team. So I got firsthand experience sort of building community through an organization like this. It's very farmer focused. And after that, I started an educational farm myself with a couple of partners. We founded a farm in Western Massachusetts that was an educational center for young women who wanted to learn to farm. Wow. So folks, again, would come from all over the country, live on our farm for the summer, and learn practices about, how to tend a small, diversified farm. And
then you moved to yourself.
And then I moved here.
Oh my gosh! How could you have done so much in your young life? And so, what is your vision of the future? What do you hope to achieve to make sure that we get this in there? What do you hope to achieve as director of NOFA here? You're out there talking to people, finding things out. What are your personal goals for the organization?
Well, hearing from the farmers, is a primary goal. Remaining super farmer focused is very important to the identity of the organization. And Enid Wanacott, who came before me and is the now late executive director who really grew NOFA Vermont into the powerhouse that it is, what she was great about was bringing people in and then raising the voice of the organic movement nationally. So she helped develop the national organic standards that are what regulate farms all across the nation. She had a very close relationship with our legislators. She helped develop leaders in the movement to carry forward the voice. So we're really interested in how can we continue to push this movement forward.
Okay, and so what do you see as some of the biggest challenges of the organization?
Farmers, it's hard to be a farmer. It's hard to get paid what it really costs to produce quality, healthy food that stewards the environment and creates a more biodiverse system. So there are a lot of challenges plaguing organic farmers, and a lot of them really rely on massive systems shift to think about how do we produce our food? What does a local food system mean? I believe that drawing together more of these conversations about what do we mean when we imagine a just food system, a food system that is also healthy for the planet, a food system that puts farmers first and is about relationships. All of these questions will inform where we're going. So I think we must look at it holistically and then bring that voice forward. NOFA Vermont and Vermont in general is unique in its size. We're small enough that we can really make effective change and then be that acupuncture point for the nation to say, this is how it can be done really well, and export that.
And model it. So how can people get involved with NOFA?
So you can check out our website at nofavt.org or give us a call at 434-4122. We put on a series of events all the time. We'd love to have you join us.
Right, so you can check out what all those events are right there on the website.
Yep.
Find out a lot more and find out how you can help. So just quickly, what else are you passionate about outside of this wonderful work?
I'm passionate about singing and cooking with my friends and my family.
Awesome. And 2 kids?
2 kids.
All right. Grace Oedel, thank you so much for being with us and for joining NOFA VT and taking it to the next level.
Thank you
so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard.